Hi, I'm Sandy, here today to lead you through a 25 to 30 minute gentle practice focusing on the lower back. So I emphasize gentle. This class is a slower pace, encouraging you to be very mindful and listen to your own inner wisdom in terms of what's safe and healthy for your body. The lower back and the neck have the most range of motion, the most mobility. So it's no surprise that they're quite often used a lot and quite often sore and even injury prone. So this practice will help to bring awareness to the various movement patterns, especially in the lower back, and to create ways of creating balance between how you move your spine and your hips in the lower back. Also, awareness of how to build strength to support the lower back in its very important role connecting the lower body to the upper body. Okay, so let's begin by laying down on your back on the mat. And take your feet wide and take the arms up overhead and come wide with them too. So coming into a pose called starfish. Just take a moment to kind of feel symmetrical in your body. Feet really wide, toes pointing out, arms reaching up with the palms up. And then close your eyes and take some longer, fuller breaths. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. So inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Keep going with this. Inhale. And exhale. Now, if at any point this position or other positions don't feel good for your lower back, if it is sore today, feel free to just bend the knees and create a little more neutral position for the lower back. But if you're okay with this, let's keep going. Good. Just relax that, bend your knees, bring the feet to the mat, and then pull one knee in and then the other knee in. And just hug the knees. Let's take the knees in a figure eight pattern. So circle the knees out to the right, bring them back in and roll across your sacrum. That's the big bone at the base of your spine. And then take the knees over to the left. We're going to go pretty slowly through this so that we can start to feel kinesthetically this part of your body. So your sacrum is a large flat fusion of bones that's triangular at the base of the spine. And then on either side of that are two small joints that connect the sacrum to your pelvis called the SI joints. And this movement pattern is putting a little bit of pressure, a little bit of massage into those two spots. Hopefully you can feel that as we roll in this pattern. And then take the legs back down again. This time keep the legs together and we'll reach the arms up overhead. Thinking about your spine, the spine moves in 8 different directions. It moves in forward flexion, back extension. It moves in side bending, left and right. It moves in twisting and rotating left and right. And the last two are compression and decompression. So compression is what happens in the spine as you stay upright through the day. And it's a healthy thing. It stimulates bone density. But quite often we don't do much decompression where we're taking pressure off the spine. So just right here, we're doing a little bit of decompression. There's no weight bearing down into the lower back especially. But let's see what we can do to create even more decompression. So take your right hand, grab your left wrist, and come into a side bend. We're going to lift the shoulders up. Take your shoulders and your arms to the right. And then if that's not too much, then take your left ankle on your right ankle. Take a breath and decide how that feels. And if you want a little more out of it, take your feet even more to the right. And try not to let your left hip come up. Try to keep this all in a side bend, and you might be feeling a lot of sensation in the side of your leg, your hip, your ribs, your shoulder. But think about what's happening in your spine right now. We're creating some opening or decompression along the left side of your spine, and a little bit of compression on the right side, and all of that is healthy. It's a good movement pattern. All right, come on back into the middle of the mat, and we'll build it the other way. So left hand grabbing the right wrist. Take the hands and the shoulders over to the left. Put your right ankle on your left ankle, and just see how that feels. Make any adjustment to get in the right amount of intensity for you today. Just take some deep breaths in and out. Come back into that breath where we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just a sigh out through the mouth. So side bending. And then come on back into the middle of the mat. Bring the arms down, bend your knees, hug your knees again. Even lift your knees, your hips a little off the mat. Let's bring your feet back down. Have your feet about hip width apart, so lined up with your hips and your feet and your knees. And come into an awareness of how your lower back is feeling today. So we have 4 curves in the lower back, in the back. We have 2 lordotic curves and 2 kyphotic curves. Your lower back is lordotic, and you might be able to slide your hand in underneath your waist and feel that natural curve. So that's a normal curve in the back. We need these curves in our back. They give us our suppleness and our strength. And let's just work with the lower back now. So press the small of your back into the mat. Feel your waist hit the mat. And notice when you do this how you're having to use your abdominals. That's a good thing. They support your back. Come on back into the neutral curve. And now we'll go the other way, lifting the belly up, increasing the depth of that curve into a forward pelvic tilt. Back into neutral. Exhale down into the backward pelvic tilt. Notice how that feels. Inhale to neutral. Exhale into the forward pelvic tilt. And come back into neutral. Now we're going to do something called Feldenkrais clocks. And these are just working with those 2 tilts and adding a twist and a side bend. So come back into the backward pelvic tilt, waist pressing into the mat. And then take your weight a little more onto your right hip. And roll up into the forward pelvic tilt. Come on back down onto your left hip and into the backward pelvic tilt. Keep going with that, rolling to the right, forward tilt, down on the left hip, and into your backward tilt. How's this feeling in your back today? One more round. I find that the forward tilt is uncomfortable at first, and then it starts to feel easier. So that's a good thing, adaptation happening. So pause with the small of the back into the mat. And we'll go the other way, so pressing onto your left hip, lift up into the forward tilt, cross the sacrum and come on down onto your right hip and into the small of the back. 3 more rounds, or 2 more rounds. Lifting up, rolling to the right, pressing the small of the back into the mat. 1 more time, left hip, lift the belly, come across your sacrum, down and into the backward tilt. Well done, let's hug the knees 1 more time here. And then come on up to sitting up. So let's roll to one side. Use your hands to come up. And come to sitting with your legs straight ahead on the mat. So let's start with your left leg straight ahead. And put your right leg foot on the opposite side of that. So we're coming into a seated twist. We want to keep the sit bones kind of anchored to the mat, but allow them to lift if they need to. When we're twisting, again, because we have the most mobility in the lower back and the neck, that may be where most of the twist happens. So that's just if you're not thinking about it, that's how it'll go. But if you can think about it and twist in your upper back as well, so there's not so much strain on the lower back, that's a good lesson for everyday life. Okay, so take the left hand behind and just press your right arm against the inside of your right leg. Think of decompressing now. Lengthen up at the crown of the head, pull the lower abs in. And then maybe deepen the twist, trying to twist in your ribs. And then inhale, unwind and lengthen. Exhale, twisting again. More in the ribs, less in the waist. 1 more time, inhaling and exhaling. And then come on back to facing the front. Just let that right ankle rest on your left thigh. Roll the shoulders into your back and lead with your chest. Leaning in, just leaning in until you feel a little bit of tugging in your right glutes and keeping the lower back neutral. So we're not rounding the lower back, we're not arching it, we're keeping that natural lordotic curve. Good, and then come on back up out of that. And take both feet now to the sides of the mat. Take your hands behind you, starting with a neutral lower back. We're going to do that forward pelvic tilt again, lifting the belly forward, squeezing the shoulders back and opening up the chest. And then come on back to neutral and then into the backward pelvic tilt with the lower back. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, open into the front. If this is uncomfortable, don't go too far. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, rounding. Okay, let's come on up and do the other side. So take your right leg forward, put your left foot on the outside of it. Kind of shift your weight a little bit side to side on your sit bones. Take that right hand behind you. Tuck the left arm inside the leg. That gives you a bit of leverage in your twist. Before you go any farther though, think of extending, lengthening, decompressing the spine a little bit if you can, engaging your lower abs, and then exhale and twist in the ribs and the shoulders. Inhale, unwind a little, exhale and twist. That's pretty good. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, come on out of the twist. Just let your left knee hang out to the side, hands on the leg and roll the shoulders back, nice and neutral, engaging the lower abs, and lean until you feel some tugging in your left glutes. So everything is kind of a chain reaction. If we can create strength in the back, create strength in your glutes, strength in your abdominals, all of this will help to keep the lower back in good alignment and ensure that we don't strain the lower back when we're doing things like picking up groceries or exercise or whatever we're doing. All right, unwrap your legs, bring the feet to the sides of the mat, palms facing back, fingers back. Inhale, lift the pelvis up, open the chest. Exhale and round the back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and round. One more time, squeeze the shoulders back. And exhaling. And then just bring your feet together. Slide the feet ahead as far as you can while keeping your big toes touching. And lay the arms on the lower legs and start to round your back. So this is a forward flexion in the back. If you know you have something going on in your back where forward flexion is not healthy, then just stay tall. But if your back is okay, let's come on over. Round your back. You can maybe even slide your hands in under your legs. Whatever variation of this you can do. And then let the head hang down, round your neck. Just give this a couple of breaths. And then come on back up. Bring your knees together and come around onto your hands and knees. So we mentioned core and abdominals, and that's one of the most significant things that we can do to protect the lower back. The first is an understanding of how it moves and working with proper alignment. The second is to build your core strength, and that's not just your abs, but it is your abs as well as your back and your glutes. And probably most importantly, it's your obliques, these internal and external groups of muscles that weave around the waist. So I'm going to get you to come down now into a forearm plank. So come on down with the elbows right under the shoulders, clasp your hands together. Maybe walk the knees back just a little bit. And then see what you can do about coming down into a plank on your knees, okay? So we don't want the butt to be sticking up. We also don't want the hips to sag down. So somewhere in the middle there, in that neutral rounded back or spinal curve. And then inhale, lift up, pull yourself back and create some traction in your lower back. So really pulling back with the hips, lengthening the lower back. Inhale, shift forward. Come back into that half plank, pressing strongly into your forearms, keeping the lower abs engaged. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull back. 2 more rounds. Inhale, shift forward. I know this is a lot of work for the upper body. Into your plank, nice and neutral with the lower back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull back. 1 more round. How are you doing? If you need to come out and take child's pose, always permission to do so, respecting what your body needs, what's healthy for you. And then come on back up. Let's come on up onto your hands. Curl the toes, lift up into downward facing dog. So hands are about shoulder width, feet are about hip width. Lengthening into everything in your back, pulling the shoulders in onto your back ribs. And then play with those 3 positions of the lower back. So let's do a backward pelvic tilt here. And then neutral, and a forward pelvic tilt. And then maybe try the clock circles again. So a backward pelvic tilt, roll a little to the right, do your forward tilt, roll to your left, backward tilt. And keep going, do maybe 3 going one direction clockwise, 3 going counterclockwise. See if you've done those first 3, then change the direction. So a sense of side bending, forward and back, pelvic tilts, and also a sense of decompression. Here's where an opportunity to decompress the lower spine.
Lower spine takes the brunt of all the weight of the upper body. That's why those discs are so big in the lower back, the lumbar spine. And then let's bend your knees. Take your feet wider on the mat. Walk your hands back. Walk your feet ahead. And then keep those knees bent. Look up, put your hands on your thighs and bring yourself back up. So whenever you're coming up from the ground, come up with your knees bent. That way your lower back is not doing the work, but it's your legs doing the work. That's just a good tip to keeping the lower back out of the equation. All right, so have your hands on your hips. We're going to roll the shoulders back. Keep a nice tall spine. Think of lengthening up the crown of the head. And then fold at the hips. Now really be aware of what you're doing with your lower back. Right now I'm doing a forward pelvic tilt and that doesn't feel good. I'm going to stay neutral and I'm also going to bend the knees a little bit so that the legs are doing some of the work. Come on over into a forward bend. You can slide the hands down your legs. Hold on wherever you can reach. And then bend your knees a lot. Inhale, come on back up, squeezing the lower abs in. Take the heels of the hands to the small of the back. Push the pelvis forward with the hands, but keeping the lower back still in that neutral curve. Bend your knees a little and press forward. Shoulders into your back, looking up with your eyes, not arching the neck. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend your knees and slide down into a forward bend. Inhale, bend the knees a lot, come on back up. Hands on the small of your back, push the knees forward, open the chest. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sliding down your legs. Go as far as feels safe. Bend your knees to come up. One more round. Exhale, pressing forward. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, sliding down. And bend the knees and come on back up. Good. And then just have your feet maybe shoulder width or even a little wider apart. I'm going to weave the last three fingers together, create a pointed finger with your thumb and your index finger, and then reach the arms up. Try to bring the shoulder blades down on your back. And we'll do some side bends and some twists here. So feel very grounded on the feet, and you can let the knees bend. You don't have to sort of statically hold the legs. Come on over into a side bend to the right. See how this feels today, especially in the lower back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, over to your left. Good, inhale, back up. Exhaling to your right again, maybe go a little farther and put the weight in your left foot. So really feel lots of weight in this foot. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to the left, hips to the right, pushing into your right foot. Inhale, back up. Exhale over. We've got one more set here. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Come on, back up. Let's let those arms relax for a moment. They suddenly get very heavy. Okay, we're going to go again and do our twist. So weave the fingers together again, lift up. So look to your right, and we're going to turn to the right, but think of lengthening and then twisting. Let your left heel come off the mat. You might be just looking at the side wall to your right, or you might be able to go a little farther and look towards the back of the room. Inhale, come back to the center. Plant that left heel and then turn and look to your left and carefully twisting to the left, lengthening up with the arms, taking some weight out of your lower back, engaging your core. Inhale to the front, exhale, twist to the right again. Inhale, lengthen up, keep all that length. Exhale, twisting to the left. Good, come on back to the front, let the arms come down, hands on the knees, slide down, bend your knees. Slide down, pause here. If your lower back is okay, then feel free to straighten the legs. If you want to keep it really safe, keep your knees just a little bent. Push with your feet, bend your knees, come on back up. All right, so back into standing with your feet about hip width apart. Do a few half sun salutations. So we're not jumping around or coming down into plank, but just working with the spine, okay? So start with the shoulders into your back, palms forward. Inhale, lift the arms up, connect the fingers. And then exhale, bend your knees, come on down into your forward bend. And you can keep your knees bent. Again, if your lower back is okay, you can straighten the legs here. If your back is not okay, bend the knees. Come halfway up now. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, fold over. Bend your knees a lot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale,
float down. A couple more rounds. Inhale, big arms. Exhale, forward fold, bending the knees as you need to. Inhale, expand into the chest, squeeze the shoulders back. Exhale, back down. So we're creating strength in our back here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Good, one more round. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale, full breath out. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, down. Inhale, come on up. Hands together and draw them down to your heart. Just pause for a moment. Done some active things here. How are you feeling in your body? How's your back feeling? How are your shoulders feeling? Engage your core a little bit. Good. All right. Come back onto your front of your mat. And then just take a step back with your right foot. Just come straight back and plant that foot down. So we're coming into triangle or trikonasana. So the right heel is directly behind your left heel. Left foot is straight ahead, right foot's out to the side. In all the triangle poses, your legs stay straight and the arms stay pretty straight too. So let's open up the arms, squeeze the shoulders back, look over your left hand, and then take your time reaching ahead. Reach ahead, keep those lower abs working. And then just bring that left hand down to your left leg and reach the right arm up. Don't worry about how deep you're getting in this pose. Let's bring awareness to the lower back now. Thinking about what's happening here. We're side bending. There's a little bit of twisting, not too much. And then play with that. Play with your abs, okay? So inhale, lift up. Use these abs to pull you up. And then reverse triangle, right arm to the right leg and left arm up and open into your left side. Feel that opening into your spine. Inhale, use the left abs to come up. Exhale, rotating down. Inhale, lift up. Shoulders back. Exhale, side bending again. Inhale, lift. One more round. Exhale, over. Maybe go a little farther each time. Inhale, back up. Exhaling, over. Wow. Inhale. That's a bit of work. Let's bring the hands to the hips. We're going to step your right foot forward a little bit and a little to the right so that now our feet are hip width apart and we can square the hips to the front of the mat. So really bring that right hip forward. Keep your hands on your hips. Feel your hip bones there. Roll the shoulders back. Nice and tall and long. Extend the neck so you're taking some weight out of the lower back. And then keep your abs engaged as you fold over into pyramid. Shoulders stay back. You're going to stop when the hamstrings on your left leg say that's it. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold over. Bend the knee if you're feeling anything in the lower back so you can really keep that lower back neutral. And then come on back up and we'll take a step back up to the front of the mat. Give your legs a little shake and we'll do the other side. So I'm going to move this way so I can keep watching you. Straight back with your left foot. Check the alignment. The left heel is directly behind the right. Legs are straight. Open the arms up. Squeeze the shoulders back. Look over your right hand. And then just slide ahead as far as you can. When you can't go any farther, bring the right hand to the leg and take the left arm up so your arms are at 6 o'clock. And just notice how this is feeling on this side. It might be different. You might be feeling it's easier or harder. It just depends on your handedness and your habits. That's okay. Let's inhale, come back up. Exhale into reverse. So left hand to the leg, right arm is straight up. Inhale to parallel. Exhale into trikonasana. Ooh. Use your obliques here to come back up. Exhale and side bending. Good. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhaling over. Noticing if anything's changing. Maybe you can go a little further each time. Maybe it just feels a little easier each time. Your body's building these patterns. It's learning how to move in a way that's safe and aligned. Last set. Inhale back up. Exhale. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Bend your knees and step that left foot forward. Take it a little wider so your feet are hip width. Square the hips, so bring the left hip forward, roll the shoulders back, and start to hinge at the hips. Again, really mindful of this lower back. We're not overarching it. We're not rounding it. Staying neutral. If there's any sense of discomfort, bend the knee so that you can really support it and just fold over. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Keep those lower abs working too. And then come on back up, bend your knees. Step back up to the front of the mat.
Just come on down onto your hands and knees, and we'll switch around to laying down on your back. Yay. Bring your right knee in, hug it into your body, relax both legs. So when you do that, notice how this kind of neutralizes your lower back. It's a bit of forward flexion in your lower back on the right side, but it's balanced by the left side staying neutral. And that's an interesting sort of pattern that you can build, not having both sides doing the same thing at the same time, but kind of having a balance, an opposite effect. And then let's come on over into a twist. So grab your right knee with your left hand, roll onto your left hip, as far as you can go here. Maybe this is where you want to stop. If you want to go a little farther, again, really listening to what feels healthy in your body. Open that right arm out to the side. Just give this a few breaths and think about what's happening in your spine. So rotation, huge rotation. Internal rotation in the lower spine, external rotation in the upper spine, side bending, maybe a little bit of decompression too. And then let's come on out of that twist. Let your right leg go down. Bring the left knee in. Hug it into your body. Again, get that sense of forward flexion in the lower back on the left side, and a sense of the balance of what's happening in the lower back on the right side. Come on over into your twist. So grab your left knee with your right hand. Take your time. It might be different on this side. You decide where the right amount of rotation is good for your lower back. And so one of the things we're doing with these twists, thinking about the spine and the back, of course, but also the things that are connected below the spine, so your glutes and your leg muscles. And if we can take some tension out of your glutes that lead into your lower back, that can take some pressure off of your SI joints and off of your lower back. So these twists are doing a lot more than just one thing at a time. And come on back out. Well done. Let's bring your feet to the sides of the mat. Keep your knees bent. In fact, let the knees touch. Let the arms rest down. Come into symmetry with your body, pulling the shoulder blades under. Close your eyes. And then come into your breath again. Allow the muscles of your body, and especially of the lower back, to relax now. No effort required. Just focus on the breathing. Inhale fully. Exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, a little bit of effort on the in-breath. Exhale, letting go on the out-breath. Keep going with this breathing. Keep going with the letting go on the exhale. Just visualize your spine now. Imagine the spine like 26 jewels, all unique and beautiful, all shiny and strong, and all coordinated and working together. This moment, no activity in the spine, just letting it be at peace. Releasing any tension from your lower back. Take one more full breath in and exhale it out. Bring one knee and then the other knee into your body. Hug your knees. Rock on your back. And we're going to roll to one side. Use your hands to help you come back up to sitting up. Take your time, no rush. So thank you for your attention and for sharing this practice with me today. Namaste.